Hi, I'm Spencer, and this is the Clark Jungle Hammock Company in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I'm going to show you how to set up the Clark Vertex 2-person hammock. Come on inside. So we're here in the showroom of the Clark Jungle Hammock Factory, where I'm going to show you how to set up this Clark Vertex hammock. I'll also show you how this translates to a real setup in the woods. The first step is to tie your tree straps to the tree. Tie them as high on the tree as you can. For the Vertex hammock to feel comfortable, you want the ropes to come down to the hammock. Since webbing can stretch a lot, it's better if you have as little tree strap between the hammock and the tree as possible. The ropes that Clark provides don't stretch much at all. Wrap the tree strap around the tree as many times as you can so that there's only a small length of tree strap that you attach your rope to. Here on the foot end of the hammock, there are 2 ropes coming from the foot end that attach to the same foot end support. There are 2 ropes instead of 1 because each occupant of the hammock should be able to adjust the slack of the hammock to their own preference. These aluminum rings that come with the hammock can be tied on in such a way that it's easy to adjust the slack. Let me show you how these rings were tied on. First, just wrap the rope around the ring once. Go around the tree and gather the rope so that you can put the end of the rope back through the ring. At this point, you want to pull the hammock up to about the height you wish it to be. Then, secure the knot with 3 half hitches. Here's 1, 2, and 3. All right, I'm ready to tie up my final tie-out point. Got my tree strap set here. I'm going to put the rope through the loop. Pull it up to about where I want the hammock. I'm going to gather the rope so that I can put it back through the drip ring. Pull it through. And when I'm sure I've got my slack just right, tie it off with the 3 half hitches. Pull them through a little bit slow. You don't want to whip yourself in the eye with the end of the rope. Okay, let's see how fast I can put this hammock up with that drip ring knot on this stand. Go. And stop. Okay, so that was 2 minutes and 28 seconds. And that's on an ideal stand like this one where the trees are perfectly aligned and everything is just right. In real life, we know that will not be the case. That brings us to a very important topic. Tree selection. The sweet spot for tree distance from head end to foot end is 13 to 17 feet. The closer to 13 feet you are, the easier it will be to hang your hammock. The reason for that is that the further away the head end tree is, the higher on the tree you need to hang your ropes so that the ropes can come down to the hammock and give it the appropriate slack to keep the hammock comfortable and still off the ground. The head end trees should be 5 to 8 feet apart. Here on the head end of the hammock, you'll notice this thick strap. That keeps the hammock from pulling itself apart when you can't find trees that are perfectly aligned. These trees, you can see, are spreading the ropes out like a Y. That's not ideal, but it's more important that the ropes are coming down to the hammock than that they're perfectly aligned. Looks like I can tighten up this rope just a little bit. Let me show you a little trick for getting the large black pole in the long sleeve on the head end. I'm going to start feeding it in. And I'm just going to keep feeding it in as far as I can, but as I meet resistance, I'm going to shake the hammock up and down. Just keep waving it. When I get pretty close to the other end, I just come around, grab it, put it in the pole holding pocket, and then I can finish on the side I started from. Once you have the black pole in, the foot end pull is a lot easier. Just slide it through the sections. Make sure that the sections don't get caught on the little clips that hold the pole together. Look at the amount of droop there is in the weather shield and netting. That's perfect. You don't want it to be tight before you have gear and other things in the hammock. When you get in, it will sit up, but it shouldn't stretch and pull on the zippers very hard. If it does, loosen the slack on those ropes. Okay, it's time to put the tarp up, and you can see that I've just laid it over the top of the hammock. The ridge line, which I've centered over the middle, has a large D-ring on each end.
I'd like to show you the variation on the taut line hitch that I use to tie up the cords of the tarp.
The rope has been tied here to the D-ring using a bowline. It went this way, around the tree, and then came back here. Now I'm going to lay this rope over the line that's coming from the D-ring and hold them together here. Then I'm going to reach through and grab that rope, and I'm going to keep looping it over counterclockwise around the original line. I did it once. Now I'm going to loop it through again, just flipping it back through. Then the third time I come underneath both here and I push a loop through here. So I'm going to take that and pull this loop through and let go, and it's going to tighten up. And now I've got a line that I can adjust very easily to any slack I wish. And the nice thing about this loop that I didn't completely pull through but just left in there is that allows me to take this line and untie the knot very, very quickly. Done. Okay, so we just pull that up to the other tree here. Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. There's two head-end trees. So what do? In this case, we've tied two tie-up cords to the same D-ring. Start by just tying one to either tree. Now you can see it's not going to quite be able to be centered. So I'm going to slide that out a little bit. That's a little better. Slide it a little more. All right, and then I'm going to tie it up to this tree as well, using my taut line hitch. I'm just going to loop it around once, twice. Pull through my slip knot. Okay, that looks very even. Looks like it's nicely centered. Now when you're outside, it's the same principle. You can see that when I was outside, I just strung it across to one tree, and then I strung the other line to the other head end tree, and then I tightened one, and then I loosened the other, tightened again, and I just went back and forth until I saw that it was nice and even and centered over the hammock. The hammock has 3 tie-out points on each end. I suggest you just tie out the corners. The middle tie-out point isn't necessary except in high wind or unless you just really want it. Usually there's no need to use any stakes. Just tie out these cords to bushes, branches, rocks, whatever you can find. Okay, so if you've set up your Vertex hammock right, you should be able to roll from one end to the other without any problems. It should be perfectly stable. You'll really enjoy all the storage you have in there, all the options you have for deploying the netting and the weather shield. If you have any questions about setting up the Vertex hammock, write to us at info@junglehammock.com or come by our factory here where you can set an appointment for me to show you how to set one up anytime.